Hello, my name's Darren Bugg, and today I'm reviewing another London budget hotel. And for a change, I've come to an area that I've never been to before, and an area that I'd never normally consider staying in, and that is Hayes. Now, Hayes isn't central London, it's quite a long way out from the centre of London, but there's a very good reason that I've decided to stay in this hotel today, and I'll explain that a bit later on, because it could provide quite a good tip for how to get a good quality budget hotel that is actually very accessible for the centre of London. But I'll explain that later. First of all, I'll show you the room. And I should mention this hotel is a Premier Inn, so when I booked it I wasn't expecting too much. I thought it would be pretty much like the other Premier Inns that I've stayed in. The last one I stayed in London was at Hanger Lane, and it was okay. It's very convenient for the underground station, but it wasn't really that much better than staying in a bog standard travel lodge. I've always considered Premier Inn to be just a little bit better than travel lodge, not a lot better, but a bit better than travel lodge, and they tend to be a bit more expensive as well. So I've been in the room now 15 minutes, and I was in for a bit of a shock because I was expecting it to be pretty much like the one at Hanger Lane that I stayed in a few months ago, but in actual fact it's vastly better in quality. So let's have a look at the room. I'm going to turn around, just have a look at the bed. It is pretty much a standard Premier Inn bed, but it is incredibly comfortable. I've had a quick lie on it to see, and it is brand spanking new as well. In fact, nearly everything in this room seems to be brand spanking new. Lovely bed heads and light features, and I suspect this hotel hasn't been around for that long because everything looks like it's only just been fitted. The sockets, the furniture, there's a lovely chair there, much more comfortable than what you normally get in a travel lodge or in a Premier Inn. When I first came into this room I thought, have they made a mistake and given me one of their new super rooms, because travel lodge do super rooms, but Premier Inn have started doing super rooms as well. I think they give them a different name, but this is far superior, the quality of the furnishings, to what I experienced in the last London Premier Inn that I stayed in. Really nice desk, lovely seat to do your work, lots of mirrors, as I say, a nice chair there, lovely comfortable bed, nice light fittings. Everything is beautiful and clean with some fantastic lighting. You've got various ceiling lighting which you can see around, and also this lovely thing. I want one of these for my home. It's beautiful desk lamp and a ceiling to floor window, which is a really nice feature because it lets in lots of light, and it's fantastically soundproofed as well, this window. I've even noticed, I don't think I'm allowed to open it, but it does actually open out, although the view isn't very good. As you can see outside, I'm just looking into a bus depot and car park down here, so I certainly don't have a very good view, but it's incredibly quiet, really well soundproofed, and a fantastic bonus because you've got all that natural light from floor to ceiling and some fantastic lighting as well. Really nice modern lights. I love that desk lamp. I want it. I want to take it home. Television, well, the last Premier Inn I stayed in, which wasn't long ago, had, I think it was a 28-inch TV. So this gave me a bit of a shock because this is bigger than the one I've got at home. I think this must be at least 42-inch. It might even be bigger than that. Fantastic high definition Samsung television. If you've watched my other videos about budget hotels, then you know the test that I always do. If you haven't seen any of my other films, I'll explain. I always look round the back, and if you look very carefully, you can see you've got your HDMI port, your USB port, and your auxiliary ports there. The reason I always look for that is because I like to bring films and downloads on a USB stick, and then in the evening, rather than watch the rubbish television channels, I can stick my USB stick in there and watch film that I've brought from home. And I'm pleased to say that it passes my test, and my test is, can I get my fingers down there? You can see, get my hands straight down. I know it sounds silly, but I stayed in a hotel up in the Lake District a couple of weeks ago, and oh, it was a nightmare trying to get my fingers right down the back to stick the USB stick in, but I'll have no problem with that at all. So I'll be watching a film when I get back from central London later on tonight. And also, if you bring your laptop along, I'll just show you here, you've also got the port for plugging in for internet access on your laptop, on your desk as well. So let's have a look at the desk while we're looking at it. It's beautiful condition. It looks like it's brand new. All the usual stuff that they give you, the kettle, the mugs and the glasses. Never ever give you enough coffee. Look at that. They've just given me two coffees. At least they're not decaffeinated. If they'd given me decaffeinated coffees, I would have gone down to reception and caused a storm, because I cannot stand decaffeinated coffee. But that's two of them, which won't last more than about 5 minutes. But I always bring my own anyway. And for milk, I mean, what a joke. That's I think whichever hotel you're staying in the world, if it's a budget hotel, they give you virtually no coffee and milk, and you have to go down to reception and get some more. And I'm sure that they will give me some if I ask them at reception. Nice metal kettle, which is always a nice feature, rather than those horrible manky plastic ones that you often get in budget hotels. The Britvic tonic water and the apple I brought myself. They didn't provide that. They're not that good. They don't provide you with gin and tonic. You have to bring your own tonic water and your own gin, or whatever it is you like to drink. But anyway, that's the desk. Nice, very nice, comfortable chair to sit and work at your laptop. And as I say, even nicer chair. Lovely chair. I love the design as well, that tartan design for watching TV. And I haven't seen a chair that good in any budget hotel ever, I don't think. And a lovely painting on the wall as well. I like everything about the design of this room. It really is, it just looks very nice. It looks quality. They haven't spared any expense on the appearance of the room. Right down to having the windows, the ceiling to floor windows, a massive TV, several big mirrors. There's another mirror right from there all the way down to my feet on the ground. So a lovely big mirror. And another one there which lights up, which is great. And then another one above your desk as well. So there's plenty of mirrors. You always get a hairdryer at Premier Inn, which you don't get in Travelodge unless you ask them at reception, but they give them as standard in Premier Inn. The one thing that they never give you enough of, and this applies to any hotel in the world, you'll know already what I'm going to say if you've seen my other films, and that is coat hangers. Look at that, 3 coat hangers. I put my jacket on one. Luckily, I'm a man, I'm travelling alone, so I don't have many clothes with me. If it had been a couple staying here, especially if it was a woman, come on, let's be honest. How are you supposed to manage with 3 coat hangers? It's bad enough just one person, but if you imagine 2 people or a family or something, 3 coat hangers, they never ever provide enough coat hangers. And that is even if you stay at the Savoy or the Ritz or somewhere really posh in London, they still don't provide enough coat hangers, and I just don't understand why. It's almost like they're having a joke with us. So anyway, yeah, nice desk, nice furniture, lovely window, chair, very comfortable bed, lovely decor, and a fantastic big television, which I don't think I've ever seen a TV this big in a budget hotel before. They usually give you like a 28-inch, or if you're lucky, if you're very lucky, a 32-inch. If you stay in the super rooms at Travelodge, it's a 32-inch TV. But that's if you pay extra for the super rooms. The standard rooms, you probably get about 28-inch. This is well over 40. I think that's a 42-inch. Right, let's have a look at the bathroom. And again, lovely wood on the door. Really nicely decorated. It's as if they haven't spared any expense. And the bathroom is fantastic. It's lovely, clean, really pristine, clean, not a spot of mould anywhere. I'm just about to have my bathroom at home completely revamped, and I'm thinking of having something like this with a massive mirror and all the lovely white lines, and then the kind of the wooden effect floor, and a walk-in shower. And I'll stand back a bit so you get a better impression of the shower, because it's fantastic. There isn't a bath, which is disappointing. I didn't think when I walked outside the hotel, I thought this place isn't going to have a bath because it looks like modern from the outside, and the modern places don't tend to have a bath. They just have a shower, but it is a really nice big walk-in shower. Lovely lighting again, absolutely pristine, not a spot of mould anywhere, and it kind of slides open. If I can there we go, whoops, nearly broke it. And power shower, and it's a really powerful shower as well. And something else I love about this shower, and it sounds like only a minor thing, but if you watch my other videos you'll know what I'm going to say. It's one of those showers which you can take off, and it's got the cord, so it means that you can wash yourself all over. You can wash your bits and pieces, which you can't do in a lot of travel lodges because they have the bit where the water comes out is built behind the tiles, and that means that you're not actually able to move the shower head. You're just stuck, like with the shower head stuck there, and all the water comes from behind the tiles. So although this is probably a more old-fashioned way of doing it, I love it because it means that you can wash all the different bits of your body that you can't reach on one of those other showers that they give you. So that's great. Really big shower. Get 2 people in this shower actually. There's only me here, so there's only me going to be getting in it, but you could get 2 people in if there were 2 of you. And lovely tiles. It's just lovely, very, very nicely decorated. I think I'm going to have my bathroom at home done like this when I get it done, when I get it renovated later this year. So really nice bathroom. Something else you get which I personally I much prefer, and again, if you've seen other films that I've produced, especially about Travelodge, they have these sort of fiddly. I'll have to pull this out, which means the lights will go out in a minute. You have to press that in there to get your lights going. It's one of these key entry systems where you touch your key, and it's one of the modern sort that don't break down. Now, if you want to know what I'm talking about here, have a look at my video on the Manchester Ancoats Travelodge, where I have a bit of a rant about having to go back down to reception 5 times because the keys stopped working. Because it was one of those where you press your key fob into like a sliding thing. You pull it out and it doesn't work, and it flashes red when it should flash green. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. With the new type, you don't have that problem. They don't go wrong. So that's another bonus. I know that my key entry is not going to go wrong 5 times in the space of 5 hours, which is what happened to me 2 months ago at a Manchester Travelodge. Okay, so that is the room. Another great feature of this room is the air conditioning, which you often don't get in Premier Inns, and you certainly don't get in travel lodges unless you have one of the super rooms, which cost extra money. It's a really simple system to use, and I found it's really effective as well. All you do is press the on-off button. It's not too noisy. Air conditioning can obviously sometimes be a little bit noisy, but it's not too bad. And you just got an up and down button for the temperature. So today it is quite warm, so I'm just going to put it down as low as it'll go, and then you've got the fan, which you can adjust to get the fan high or low or however you want it. So I've put the fan on full, turned on there, and then just the temperature there. And the actual air conditioning unit itself is right up there, which is quite common in a lot of hotel rooms. So it's just above where the actual control is. And this is standard in all the rooms, even the standard rooms, not the expensive rooms. So whichever room you have here at this Premier Inn, you are going to get that air conditioning unit as well. And I've been testing it out this morning, and it is lovely. It's very effective. It's not a particularly hot day today, but on a hot day I imagine that will be very, very useful. And it's another nice feature that you get in this particular Premier Inn, which you don't get in all Premier Inns. You get in some of them, but a lot of the older ones don't have it. And as I said earlier, you also don't get it in any of the travel lodges unless you pay extra for the Travelodge super rooms. So this hotel is in an area called Hayes, and Hayes is quite a long way from the centre of London. It's in West London, northwest London, and it's a few miles from Heathrow Airport. And the official title of the hotel is Premier Inn Hayes Heathrow, Hyde Park. And that is a really confusing name for a hotel, especially if you're not from Britain or if you don't know London very well, because they've put the words Hyde Park in brackets after the words Hayes Heathrow. So you have to ask the question, where is it? Is it in Hayes? Is it at Heathrow? Or is it in Hyde Park? And of course, if you're a foreign visitor or if you don't know London very well, you think, is this hotel somewhere near Hyde Park? That sounds very central. Well, Hyde Park is virtually in the centre of London, but this is another Hyde Park, which is not the famous Hyde Park. It's many, many miles from the centre of London. So to begin with, that's a bit confusing. But they've also confused people by saying Heathrow, and I think they've done that as a marketing gimmick so that people who want to fly from Heathrow think, that's near Heathrow, I think I'll stay there, because actually it is several miles from Heathrow Airport. It's not like staying at the Premier Inn at Terminal 4 or Terminal 3 or actually at the airport, which is what I'm going to be doing in July. I'm staying at a Premier Inn actually at the airport itself in one of the terminal buildings. But this has the word Heathrow in the title. And if you like to walk from here to Heathrow, it'll probably take you about 2 hours to walk. So I don't know why they've confused people putting the word Heathrow in. And they confuse people even more by then putting Hyde Park in brackets afterwards, which obviously isn't the Hyde Park that is famous in the centre of London. It's referring to a totally different Hyde Park. So just for the purposes of this film, this hotel is in Hayes. Forget about Heathrow, forget about Hyde Park, that comes in the title, but this is the Hayes Premier Inn. Now, it is an interesting area to stay in because it's the sort of place you wouldn't expect to stay in, and it's as if you've seen my other videos, you'll know this already. If you stay in these type of areas, you can get some quite good bargains. If you stay in central London, same Premier Inn would be probably £150, £200 a night. Well, I've paid £40 per night, which is a vast saving. And you might think, yeah, but there's going to be all that hassle of getting into London. Well, actually, there isn't. And the reason is because a brand new railway line has just opened. In fact, it opened yesterday, and it's called the Elizabeth line. It's also known as Crossrail, and it goes all the way from Reading in Berkshire, which is a long way from London, all the way across to Essex, and it also takes in Heathrow Airport. And Hayes is one of the stops on the brand new Elizabeth line, and it's a really fast underground line that goes right across London. It's only 5 stops to Paddington, and Paddington is in central London, not far from the real Hyde Park actually, only a few minutes walk from there. You can get right to the other side of London to Docklands and then right out into Essex in a very short amount of time. It takes less than 20 minutes from Hayes, from the Hayes and Harlington station on the new Elizabeth line, to be right in the centre of London. And this hotel is about a 10-minute walk from the station. So what I'm getting at is door to door, from leaving my hotel room to actually being in the centre of London, right smack bang in Soho or somewhere in the centre of London, is probably about half an hour, probably less than that actually. And that is a massive bonus, because a lot of people make the mistake of staying in somewhere like Islington or Camden or Battersea or in central London itself. And if you stay in an area like that, you're going to pay a lot of money, but you're not necessarily going to save on travel time, because if you're not near a tube station, then it's going to take you just as long to get to where you want to go in central London. So to give an example, I once stayed in a travel lodge at Battersea, and it took me ages to get from the travel lodge to the underground, and then it took me ages to change to where I needed to change to, because it's a very awkward station that you're travelling from. And in the end, I spent about 45 minutes getting from the hotel to centre of London where I wanted to be. From here I'll probably be in central London in about 25 minutes because of the new Elizabeth line. So the point I'm making is, you have to be very careful when you're choosing a hotel, not just to look at a map, but also to look at the travelling times, because often in London, even though you're staying further out, the travelling time can be much less. And there are all sorts of places like that that you can stay. For example, the Premier Inn at Wembley. If you look on a map, you think, I'm never staying there. It's miles away from centre. But the Premier Inn is right next door to a train station, and the train only stops once all the way to Euston. So in other words, you can be at Euston in about 15 minutes. So my advice to people, if you're looking for a bargain hotel in central London, is don't necessarily look at a map. Look at how long it's going to take you from your bedroom to where you want to go. And I think this hotel is an absolute bargain at 40 quid a night, because it's a beautiful, really, really modern hotel. Fantastic quality. I would say this is above the level of a budget hotel. It's not like a typical travel lodge or a typical Premier Inn. This is much better quality. This is sort of 3, almost pushing 4-star quality for £40 a night, and only 25 minutes from the centre of London. And I think this could become very popular now that they have opened the new Elizabeth line, which was actually only opened yesterday. So if you are looking for a hotel that isn't going to cost you a lot of money but is still very quick to get into central London, then book your room quickly, because I think when people latch onto this, the prices may go up quite a lot. And that will apply to any of the new stations on the Elizabeth line, on what's also known as Crossrail, because it's literally a brand new line right across London that's only just opened. And there are a lot of hotels near the stations which are at the moment pretty cheap, but will go up a lot in price when people realise that the line is so fast and you can be in the centre of London in 15-20 minutes. So would I stay here again? Well, from what I've seen so far, absolutely I would, because it's an absolute bargain. It's a high quality hotel, a high quality room, and at a price that is an absolute bargain, and quick to get into the centre of London. But I suspect that this hotel will get quite expensive as soon as people suss out that it's close to a brand new station. Well, it's not a brand new station, the station's always been there, but it's a brand new line that gets you into central London in a very, very quick, short journey time. It's also really handy for Heathrow Airport. I did say earlier on you couldn't walk there, it would take you 2 hours to walk, but the new Elizabeth line is only a couple of stops from all the terminal buildings at Heathrow as well. So you could literally get from Heathrow Airport to here in about 10 minutes, even though we're a few miles away. So if you're coming from another country and staying in London, and you're looking for somewhere that's very close to the airport, very handy for the airport, but you also want to be within about 20-25 minutes of the centre of London, then this is a perfect location. And I think this is something that people haven't sussed out yet, but they will do very, very quickly when they realise that the new Elizabeth line is a very, very fast train line. Gets you from Heathrow into London very, very quickly, and this station is only 10 minutes from the station where the line runs through. So I can't really fault it, to be honest, at the moment. Whether or not it will stay this price is another matter, but if it does stay as a budget hotel, then I would think this is going to be one of those little London secrets that may not get sussed out for a while. It will do eventually, but for the time being, this is a really, really good hotel to stay in. It's really handy for the airport, but it's also really handy for central London, and very, very easy to travel around very, very quickly around the capital, and a good quality hotel at a standard price. Obviously there are much better hotels you can stay in. I mean, there are 4 or 5-star hotels where you'll pay maybe £200 a night, but if you want something that is still pretty good quality for £40 a night, then you really can't go wrong staying here. Well, my name is Darren Bugg. I've produced lots of different films on YouTube about hotels, mainly budget hotels around London and Manchester. Please remember to subscribe, and I'll keep making these films as long as people want them. So put a like, share the film with your friends, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching.